Are you considering buying a home in Boise and wondering about HOA fees? Well, you're not alone. Today, we're answering the biggest questions that homeowners like you are asking. Are there HOA fees in Boise, Idaho? Will my HOA allow chickens? What about goats? Yes, these are the questions being asked, so let's get them answered. What is an HOA fee anyway? Well, let's start with what an HOA stands for. Homeowners Association. Essentially, it is a body that represents those people that live within its community. It's almost like a microcosm of the government, which is probably why so many people dislike them. Think of it like paying taxes into the government to provide services and maintain public property. An HOA fee is a regular payment that you make in order to maintain the common areas and amenities within your community. In some cases, the fee pays to provide community services, and it ensures the upkeep of shared facilities like a pool or a clubhouse. And your HOA fee pays for HOA management service to police the rules of your community. So let's get specific. What services and amenities are covered by your HOA fees? Well, there's landscaping and maintenance of common areas, and that can vary depending on the size of the community. Some communities will have huge open spaces that require lots of maintenance, while others will simply have a mow strip between the street and the sidewalk. HOA fees cover maintenance and repairs of community amenities like swimming pools, clubhouses, playgrounds. Again, depending upon your community, maybe your fee covers snow removal on sidewalks or snow removal if your road is private. Speaking of private roads, your HOA dues may cover street maintenance as well, and let me tell you, that ain't cheap. It can come as a surprise to many people moving to Boise that there are HOAs in Idaho at all. But so many of our communities do have shared amenities, and without an HOA fee, there'd be no way to maintain these features. Gosh, that's not to say that HOAs don't totally suck with their silly rules and their super specific requirements, and it's not uncommon for us to scour through a neighborhood CC&Rs to make sure it is the right fit for a client's purchase. CC&R stands for Covenants, Conditions, and Rules. It's the law of the land when it comes to your community. Most recently, I've had multiple inquiries into chickens. Yep, chickens, and whether the CC&Rs would allow chickens. But let's circle back to chickens in a second. Idaho may be a state that is all about its freedom, so new residents assume our communities won't have HOAs, but honestly, the majority do. And fees are going to vary significantly based on amenities provided. That goes without saying, and of course, the size of the community will affect how much you pay as well. You can expect to pay anywhere from $30 or $40 a month for older neighborhoods or startup communities where you'll find first-time homebuyers or rental homes. Then other neighborhoods might run up to a couple $100s per month. Most of the time, residents moving here, though, are surprised at how low HOA fees are in comparison to wherever they're moving from, unless, of course, they're moving here expecting no HOA fees. Often, HOA fees will be broken into multiple components. You'll have a general fee for the community, amenities and maintenance, and the management. Then you might have an irrigation assessment. Because our irrigation comes from canals in the Boise River, we often don't pay irrigation districts directly. It's paid through our HOA. So you might have that additional assessment that is levied against your property each year. And that can vary, again, depending upon the size of the lot you have within the neighborhood. So in my own neighborhood, we are assessed a larger irrigation fee because we have one of the larger lots. You may also have an HOA reserve fee, let's say $25 or $30 per month. Sorry, I meant per quarter, maybe $100 per year. And that allows the HOA to build a reserve. So if you have a major issue, then that reserve fund would already be in place and funded to take care of that one-off expense. It's a rainy day fund for your HOA. The general trend in HOA fees are that they go up. Part of that has to do with inflation. HOA committees are supposed to budget for future years, and as our own cost of services increase, so will the cost to service our communities. Landscaping bids go up, pole service bids go up, cost to repair and maintain go up. It would be naive to think that HOA dues can always stay constant and cover the same services year after year. What happens often in those cases is that when a major repair does come up, the residents of the community have to absorb a huge assessment, which may have been easier to digest if split up over the course of multiple years. How much would you be willing to pay in monthly HOA fees? Do you think the benefits justify the costs? Let me know in the comments below. So why do we bother living in a community that has an HOA? Well, ultimately, we all enjoy access to well-maintained amenities such as pools and parks and recreational facilities without having the burden of having to maintain them ourselves. And it's nice when the overall appearance of a community is enhanced and well kept. Then of course, HOAs often they organize activities or they have committees within the HOA that will provide social opportunities for residents. I know in our own community, we have a social committee, which is sort of overseen by the HOA board. Well, no, not really. I mean, I guess there's a board member that's on the social committee so that we can plan events and have some expenses covered by the HOA surplus fund. And we do such things as pool parties and community socials, 4th of July parades, holiday events, stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty fun and super easy given that the social committee plans it all for us and we just show up. HOAs have the ability to form committees that can create a safer community. So HOAs can implement safety regulations such as a neighborhood watch program or public forums for residents to communicate about suspicious activity or other security and safety related issues. Again, going back to our own neighborhood, we have a forum where we can alert one another when there are larger animals roaming the neighborhood looking for food. That's the time when you want to keep your small pets indoors. Of course, I think one of the #1 benefits of living within an HOA is that it can help preserve your property value. Well-maintained communities with strict architectural guidelines and strict rules on landscape maintenance, although truly burdensome, can help maintain and increase your property value. It is what it is. We can complain about them all we want, but they do serve a purpose. If you're new to my channel, I'm Toffel, Global Real Estate Advisor with Group 1 Sotheby's International Realty. I specialize in helping you relocate to Boise, Idaho, and navigate the complexities of HOAs and CC&Rs. If you need help with any of your real estate needs, reach out. My information is on the screen. And please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. And if you're watching on your television, you can scan the QR code to contact me directly. So let's talk about common complaints with regards to HOAs. Residents find HOA rules overly restrictive. They limit personal freedoms regarding property modifications, paint colors, landscaping. Yes, CC&Rs can dictate the shade of color you paint your house, or how many plants you have in your yard, and how you maintain them. They can dictate what you build on your property. So let's get specific here. So in many communities that my clients are purchasing, if the homes are older, we have to submit a request to the HOA or Architectural Review Committee in order to get a new paint color approved if we're having the exterior painted. Or if you really sort of like wild natural landscaping in your front yard and you let your bushes and trees overgrow, you may in fact get a letter from your HOA saying you have a plant jungle that you need to take care of. And then let's say you live on an acre of land and all you want to do is add an accessory dwelling unit so that grandma can move onto your property and live comfortably. Well, your HOA may tell you that that is not permissible. Just like government, there is always the issue of mismanagement. If not managed properly, HOAs can mismanage funds or fail to address community needs effectively. They may be overpaying the landscaper because it's their buddy, meanwhile the pool is falling apart and there are no additional funds to make the necessary repairs. And just like government, there is sometimes a lack of transparency. Get an HOA board in place and they make decisions and then fail to tell the residents why they came to that decision, or maybe they tell us but don't have great information or data to back up their decisions. It is always important to obtain and review HOA's governing documents when looking to purchase a new home. It will include the CC&Rs, the bylaws, the rules and regulations. Anything that is important to you, be sure you seek out that information. Going back to what I was saying at the beginning of this video with regards to chickens. So many people ask me about whether they can care for chickens in their backyard. In subdivisions that you would totally not expect it from, will allow them. You can't have a rooster, but in other subdivisions where homes sit on an acre and they're private and no one would even know you have chickens, those subdivisions don't allow them. So it truly is important to do the research. Another item that can cause consternation would be parking of additional vehicles. Truly in Idaho, garages are typically pretty big, but that's still not to say that you won't have more cars than you do garage space or extra toys, especially if you have a larger family. So are you going to get notices from the HOA if you have a car parked on the street or even in your driveway? There are also some silly rules like your garage needs to be closed. Really things like that I don't see an HOA enforcing, but they do put it in there anyway. In Idaho, HOAs are governed by the Idaho Nonprofit Corporation Act. Homeowners have the right to access HOA records, attend HOA meetings, and vote on important matters. It's important to exercise those rights because I do know of some instances where HOA meetings are held behind closed doors and decisions are made that ultimately affect the community as a whole. HOAs are obligated to operate in accordance to the governing document, so hold them to that. They have to maintain common areas and amenities and enforce community rules consistently. They can't pick favorites among neighbors. Homeowners do have the right to legal action if they believe that the HOA is acting improperly or violating state laws. HOAs are allowed to interpret state and city rules more strictly than they are written. So again, going back to the chickens, cities may allow chickens on properties, but if the community itself chooses to have a stricter rule on chickens, it can. For more videos about Boise, Idaho real estate, click on one of the other videos on the screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.